Thank you, Joyce. So this called your family? No. What can you say about?
Who's that senior lady that came up to you before and hugged you? Before Judith, the other lady.
Um,
Short, kind of short hair, straight.
just like right before
Yeah. Well, a few minutes ago.
before I went to the bathroom or after?
Before.
Oh, Phyllis, right here.
Yeah. Her. Her. Yeah.
Yeah,
Who? Who is she?
Templeman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, uh,
That's her husband.
yeah.
I was trying to identify her. We're sitting on the other side. We're sitting at the. What? You got the very end seat. I figured that'd be most convenient for you. I mean, the other thing we could do is take these two. Whichever you prefer. So you're gonna sit. Okay, and you're gonna sit here.
When do you want me to introduce the songs? The songs that you. When are we gonna do the song sheet songs? No, no. Yes. So.
It doesn't matter, but I mean, I would like to sit. It doesn't
Okay.
matter.
At the very beginning.
You can sit with us.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're gonna sit
All right.
here in the middle.
Okay. And then what? What's the next?
And then I'm gonna sit
What's
here.
the next one that you're gonna?
Well, then I just
Well, you'll. I don't know. You put it in where you think it's good. Did you make notes? Okay. What? These songs. All right. All right. We're gonna start.
Chag Sameach. Chag Sameach, everyone.
Welcome. I don't know that I'm on, Michael.
I think we need to turn on the rabbi's microphone.
Mike. Needs to go up.
Everybody take your seat.
I don't know. Welcome, everybody.
I think we need to turn up the rabbi's microphone.
A little bit higher. A little bit higher.
We need to crank the rabbi's microphone.
Welcome, everybody. A little bit higher. Yeah, there we go.
You could put him in my monitor also.
So, as we get started, and we have a lot of people, we have people that are joining us virtually and coming on already on Facebook and YouTube from their homes. And please get a seat. Can you go get Reverend Andy from the front? Tell him to come in. We're going to start. Yeah, from the front. So, before we get started, just need to get everybody's attention. So we're very excited to have everybody here to celebrate Passover. We have a lot of people who are here who've been here many, many times since we've gone back 25 years of doing this. This is actually the 26th year of celebrating Passover, the second night. It was actually the very first thing that I did as the rabbi for Temple Beth Ami. And having it here in this place is very special. We have had, for those who've been here in the past, you might remember, we have been in this beautiful hall before. It's a wonderful place filled with lots of great memories because, of course, just across the way, we celebrate the high holidays. And the people here at Valencia United Methodist have welcomed us so many times. And in this day in particular is very special because today is Palm Sunday. It's part of Holy Week. It's part of the holiest time of year on the Christian calendar. And yet they found a place for us to celebrate Passover. This is a testament. Well, I want you to clap because the current pastor of this church, Reverend Andy, is here. And he is... He is with us the last few years for High Holidays. He runs the soundboard, makes sure everything runs smoothly for us, not just like from his office, but actually in that room. And for those that remember, a couple years ago, he also sang for us because he was Tevye. He still is Tevye. Look at him right now. He's back in character as Tevye tonight. We're not going to make him sing, but we are going to begin with a show tune, though. But we are very, very lucky to have him in our community. And he just got back from working a mission in Mexico. So the fact that he, on all the stuff that he's doing here, was able to be here tonight is very special for us. And we're very grateful. So definitely give a round of applause to Reverend Andy. And the wonderful people at Valencia United Methodist Church. And one of them, one of those people who was part of Valencia United Methodist Church for many years, and actually about 13, 14 years ago, we became friends as we helped. He's the one who really got me involved in Family Promise and making it happen. And he worked for a long time out here to help make sure that the homeless would have, the unhoused would have a home. And there's a tragic irony to that. Because in his journeys, which took him to North County, San Diego, on a trip to Israel that we did 2 years ago. And now, as a lot of you know and have been following his journey, and we're a part of that journey in our community because we're definitely with him and his family, because when he was here a little over a decade ago, he was working to make sure everyone would have a home. And now we're making sure that he has a home because Reverend John Shaver is with us tonight. And in the midst of all the chaos that he's going through right now, he's here tonight. And we're very, very grateful that he took some time to be with us. And there are more Methodist clergy people than rabbis here tonight. I just want to make that. So I'm a little outnumbered, but I am really outnumbered by the wonderful two mensches that are here on the head table here tonight. So, Sean, I think you want to say something, and I'm going to hand you the mic, and then we're going to make Reverend Andy sing. But anyway.
Don't ask me to sing. That will be bad for everyone. I just wanted to come tonight and talk to Rabbi a bit about coming tonight because I've been wanting to come to in-person Shabbat. I'm sorry, but I have been going to a different Shabbat for a little bit. I know. Rabbi Amy of KI Synagogue has become a good friend, but never, well, we're good friends, so I won't say, but I mean a best friend, because this is part of my family. Andy also is such a close friend and part of the family, but the Blazers are family to me. All of you are family. When just a little over 2 years ago, before like lots of awful things, I just think, and I was talking about it this morning at worship, I won't tell you, if you come up and ask me personally, I'll tell you where we worshiped today, but I'm not going to let go of some of the names of folks in my church. I have trauma brain right now, so if I keep talking, I probably will, but come ask me where we did our Palm Sunday worship today. But as we've been journeying along this morning, I did talk about on Palm Sunday how, just again, how all the connections come together, and we were just standing on what I would share as the Mount of Olives, Beth-Phage, Beth-Page, however we all may say it in different ways. But how amazing it was. And that day, it wasn't a sunny day, but it was a day with thousands of tourists around, for those of you who were with us, all umbrellas because it was raining. And I got to learn more about the hillside and all the things that had happened in that way and shared that with our congregation and how we all come together. And again, it's about family. And maybe 2 weeks ago, I was at a Seder with an interfaith group at the Museum of Tolerance and got to sit next to the director. And we got to have a good talk about a number of different things, some challenging things, but we had a powerful talk, and I shared about our trip, and she said, you know, maybe you need to come down and talk about the trip, and hopefully we'll do, we will do next year in Israel, as the saying will go today. As I walked in, I said, I need a yarmulke because my yarmulkes were all in my office just a few months ago, and I dearly miss them, especially the Steelers yarmulke that I got at the Keep a Man shop in Jerusalem. But I think about, and as we were, and as I've been at Shabbat with KI Synagogue and talking with Mark along the way, as I think about just Passover, the story of the Exodus, there's so many pharaohs, I think, in life that we're trying to run from and get away from, and for our great one that continues to open up the seas for us to go through. And another friend, mutual friend that Mark and I have, I said, yeah, I feel kind of like in the midst of the sea right now, walking through or ready to walk through. And he said, well, you have to go through to come out and to get to the promised land. And I would never try and make my story exactly somebody else's story, but I think we all need to come together. And I know Mark and I do this a lot, and Andy, we all have stories, and we need to listen. And what I've been saying to my congregation is we need to not only just sometimes stop, look at our stories, but look around. Look around for who else is maybe sitting right before that sea that needs a hand to go on through. And then we need to also not just stop and look, but we need to listen to them and then take their hand and walk them through. And so on behalf of the Shaver family, I just want to thank all of you. You all are my family. You're part of my family as well. And again, I would not want to celebrate Seder with anyone else. I wouldn't want to be with anyone else on this very special night when we talk about finding freedom, finding and looking and searching again for the promised land. And I know, just as the Hebrews, as my ancestors, your ancestors, we can all complain a little, and that's okay. We're family, we're together. But one of the great things is how when we come together, how we can be better together. And I know my family, as they would say, they are so much better because of all of you. I know deeply going on a trip to Israel, I am better because of all of you. So again, just thank you for all that you've done for my family. I think we have become half, we really already were as ancestors Jewish, but my daughters now, I think because of the gratitude of the Blazer young women, they want to become Jewish now too. So, you may have some converts the other way, but we joke around a lot, so I hope you know that, but please know of the deep, deep, deep gratitude that we have for each of you. And I just want to be here tonight to come and say thank you, and know that all that you have done for our family, we will remember that and be here for all of you, be here for others that we meet along the way, and we will, as you will, pay it forward. So tonight, as we hear the story of freedom, know that we all have a story, but so do so many people around us. And we have the great one, our God, to take us forward in that, and that brings us together. And again, Seder's about family. So tonight, I'm grateful that you are all my family and to be together.
Thank you. So again, 3 months ago, John lost his home and his church in a matter of hours in Palisades. And ever since those months, we've been on the phone a lot. We've met as much as we can. And again, this congregation was able to get a lot of gift cards and a lot of help to his two girls who came out here when they were little tiny, like infants, when they moved to Santa Clarita, and they'll always be a part of our family too. John mentioned that he's from Pittsburgh. He grew up in Squirrel Hill area, and not too far from where the Tree of Life Synagogue that was attacked. That's his neighborhood, and we talked a lot about that. And we just saw last night that the governor of Pennsylvania's home was attacked while he was celebrating Seder. Again, at this stage, they're not saying it's a religiously motivated attack, but it's amazing to think that, number one, there's a Jewish governor in Pennsylvania who was even being talked about as being a vice presidential candidate, maybe even a presidential candidate one day. But again, we're definitely troubled and we're upset, like all Americans should be, that his house was attacked while he was doing what we're doing right now. And again, for the great state of Pennsylvania, which has some amazing leaders that are serving there now and who've come out of Pennsylvania. So thank you, John, for being here, and thank you for blessing us today. I also want to just again thank Reverend Andy for being here. And like I said, we're not going to make him sing, but I did want to just I wanted him to say something too.
I refuse to keep good people from good food long. But yes. But hospitality is at the heart of who we are here, and hospitality is certainly at the heart of who I am. And so welcome. We are so pleased to have you here tonight. The restrooms, should you need them, are out this double door to the right, through a pair of double doors in the hallway. If you get to a room full of Methodist youth having a great time, you've gone too far, because our youth group is also meeting this evening, but we said we'll do this together, and it will be a fantastic thing. I am so pleased and so honored to be invited to be with you this evening, to celebrate with you. And before I turn things over, I'll just say, how sweet and pleasant it is when brothers and sisters dwell together in unity and peace. Enjoy and God bless.
So, yeah, we have to give you the mic for the. So the first song we're going to do right now is not in the Haggadah, but it is in honor of Reverend Andy. We thought we'd begin with a show tune, and that is "There's No Seder Like Our Seder." So
On your song sheet, number 1, this is a good warm-up. And for those of you that are so inclined and you want to add some harmony, feel free. The main thing is to sing out and enjoy. Here we go. There's no Seder like our Seder. There's no Seder I know. Everything about it is halakhic. Nothing that the Torah will allow. Listen how we read a whole Haggadah. It's all in Hebrew, 'cause we know how. There's no Seder like our Seder. We tell the tale that is swell. Moses took the people out onto the heat. They baked the matzah while on their feet. Now isn't that a story that just can't be beat? Let's go on with the show. Let's go on with the show. I got a million of them.
So, the first thing we're going to do that's a ritual, that should be a ritual, but we're going to light the holiday candles, and I'm going to ask my wife Tracy, who's been here for many hours, along with many other volunteers. I want to thank everybody who helped set up, and there were so many people that helped set up that we got it done really quick. So before we light the candles, if you were here at 3 o'clock helping to set up, please stand for a second. I see you, Randy. I mean, our president, past president, Joyce Stein. So thank you all of you for helping out, including, like I was just saying, our current president, Randy Miller, who's took time out. She's not just a great leader, but a great helper and doer. And our past president, by the way, one of our past presidents, Joyce Stein, who came here on a walker and still helped out. So thank you. So I also want to give a very special thank you to the man who helped, or kind of like not just prepare, but make sure everything got here. A lot of you RSVP'd very late. That's all I'm going to say. And good Methodists. Yes, like. So I want to thank Neil Scott. From Neely's Skillet. Stand up, Neil. Neil. Yeah, Neil, who was making brunch just a few hours ago, right around the corner, and still was able to get everything ready. So we're very appreciative for that. On page 16 in your Haggadah, we're going to do the first blessing, which is the blessing over the candles, as we kick off the sanctification of time now. You can also take a moment to fill up your first cup. So we have wine on the tables. There is grape juice on the tables. There is a mixture of wines around here. But feel free, if you don't see something you like, go to another table and ask them. No, I mean, they'll share with you. All right. So as we light the candles, the blessing on page 16 for lighting the candles for Yom Tov.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner להדליק נר של יום טוב.
And if you look at the next page, on page 18 is the blessing. A special moment for us to think about our families, our children and grandchildren, if they're nearby. And we have some multi-generational tables here, like the Van Winkle Barton table over there. But if you have some multi-generational abilities right now, but wherever your families might be, you can think about them now as we say a blessing for the boys and men in our circles. We say Yesimcha Elohim Ke'Ephraim V'chi Menashe. And for the girls and women in our families, we say Yesimech Elohim Ke'Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah. And for everyone, our blessing of protection and peace. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine on you and be gracious to you. And may God turn to you and give you the blessing of wholeness, of completeness, of peace. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will, and we can all say together, Amen. And think a special thought for your family wherever they are. Send them out blessings. What? No, we're going to do it as part of the Kiddush. Some people do it as part of the Kiddush. Do you want to do the Kadesh or Chatz? Are you doing Kadesh or Chatz? Okay. If you turn with us to page 20, these are the steps, the signposts of the Seder.
קדש ורחץ, כרפס יחץ, מגיד מעורר, מרחי מצץ, מרור קורא, שולחן עורר, זבחון בעורר, הלל ניצב.
And so now we come to the first Kiddush. We're going to say the blessing 4 times over 4 cups, each for a different part of the redemption that we celebrate tonight. This is the redemption and the message as we hold this cup of joy, this cup of gladness. On page 24, you can see the Kiddush and the blessing that we say now. Everyone has their wine or grape juice?
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
We say, blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has chosen us from among the nations and languages, sanctifying us through mitzvot. Lovingly you have given us this holiday, this festival of happiness, and for this holiday of Matzot, the season of our liberation, a sacred day to gather together and to commemorate the exodus from Egypt. For you've chosen us and sanctified us, and you've granted us this special holiday. Blessed are you, God, who sanctifies the people of Israel and the festivals. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Yisrael v'hazmanim. L'chaim. Oh my gosh. Best grape juice ever. So good. Some people ask, how many ounces of wine do you have to have in order to fulfill the mitzvah? Because you don't have to have a huge glass. Don't have to have really more than about 2 ounces in order to. Now, if you want to, wait. Now I'm being told you can't have more than that. No, you can't. You can have. Don't worry. We have a lot of wine, but you have to have about 2 ounces each time. So, as we move through the symbols and the different parts of the Seder, the next thing we do is actually washing our hands, which in this case does not require a blessing because we're not going to have bread yet. but we are going to wash. And again, I don't know. We could do that. We could make this very symbolic. But here, I'll let Reverend John, if you want to wash. I can't wash you, but you can wash yourself. Just put, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's pretty symbolic. And this washing now lets us go into the first food that we eat, which again is not bread, but you can have your hors d'oeuvre, you can have your gefilte fish or eggs now, because we're going to eat our green vegetable. On page 30, you can see the karpas, the green vegetable. So if you take one of the pieces of parsley that you have, and then you also have some salt water, you have two symbols. One is a symbol of spring, and the other the symbol of our tears, right? And this is our first dipping. This is our first dipping of the holiday. Good? I told you. I just did. I literally just said that. So, before we eat it, we're going to say the blessing. On page 30. Yeah. And again, the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'adamah. We praise you, God, who gives us fruit of the earth, food that comes from the earth. And now, we're not going to eat this, but we are going to take some matzah. We don't eat it yet, but we're going to use it to tell our story. But you can eat the gefilte fish and your eggs, if you would like, as hors d'oeuvres. And you could have more parsley, but don't eat the matzah yet, and don't eat the horseradish yet either. No. Well, technically speaking. All right. So the breaking of the middle matzah allows us to create an afikomen. And we are going to hide the afikomen. I was asked today whether we're going to hide the afikomen, which we did already for our Sunday school. So this is a double header. That's right, but he's not here, so he's not eligible. Can't do it. Can't do it today. So we have a special afikomen bag. When I was a kid, we did not have an afikomen bag. We had a dirty towel. We wrapped it in a dirty towel or a napkin somebody used. And that was the afikomen bag back in the day. Here, take it. Yeah, take it. All right. So that is a very quick step. Doesn't require any food for us to eat necessarily. But now it leads to the telling of the story. And for this, I'm going to be walking around. I'm going to be doing my Phil Donahue imitation as I run around with my microphone and hand it to people. So, all right, we're going to do halachma. Yeah. Wait 1 second, let me see, because it's cut off on this Megata. All right, so we're going to turn to page 36 as we tell the story. And as we say, halach ma'anya, this is the bread of affliction. The words in Aramaic, it's like Hebrew, halach ma'anya. This is the bread of affliction that our ancestors ate. Let all who are hungry come and eat. This year we're still slaves. Next year, let's be free people. Page 36. Would not be a Passover Seder without that sound too, by the way. By the way, no, it's the healthiest sound at Passover. Now, that sound means it's time for our kids to start the 4 questions. So on page 40, I need to have all the kids come up here on this side right here. On page 40, we need our youngins to come up here because we start asking questions at the youngest age. We encourage our kids to be curious, to be intellectually inquisitive, to ask questions. So kids, come on up here and help us by asking the 4 questions.
You're going to go
which
over
are
there
really
by the rabbi.
one question. Why is this night different from all other night? Why? That's the one question. And then there's 4 answers.
Why is what?
Why is this night different?
Do we have all the kids up here?
Ready? Come up here. All right. Okay, kiddies. You ready?
Yeah. No.
Page 40. Page 40. Turn around. They need to see it. They need to see it on TV. That's on TV right there. You're on TV. Channel 2.
What?
Yeah, right in the camera. All right, page 40. The 4 questions. Ready?
Who's going to sing the loudest? You can all gather around that one microphone. Here we go.
Page 40, right?
There you go. I have to have the words.
He doesn't know it.
Can you see?
Go. Yeah, let's go.
All right, we're going to start
I'll help
again.
you.
Manishtana laila ze miko halelut miko halelut shevacho halelut anu oklin hametzu matzah halayla hazeh Alayla hazeh kula matzah shevacho halelut anu klin she'ayarakut שבחו הלילות אין אנו מפילים אפילו פעם אחת, אפילו פעם אחת. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, פעמים. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, פעמים. שבחו הלילות אנו חולקים בין יושבים ובין מסובים, בין יושבים ובין מסובים. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולנו מוטרדים. הלילה הזה, הלילה הזה, כולנו מסובים.
Thank you, kids. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. All right. Thank you, young ones. Now, so again, we encourage our youngest to start asking questions so that we remember to ask questions throughout our lives. So we hope maybe some of you will have a question. If you do, please raise your hand. That is the theme for tonight, asking questions. I mean, every Passover, that's the theme, but in particular this year, it's something that I was thinking about, how important it is for us to continue to ask questions, to understand, first of all, that we don't know everything. It starts with humility, and one of the greatest expressions of freedom is being able to ask questions. And if you want to read more about that subject, look at the signal from yesterday, because I want to thank Richard Budman, who's here tonight, and the Budman family who published that article for Passover. So thank you, Budmans, for including me often in the pages of the signal. And again, it's a commercial, because if you sign up for the signal through Temple Beth Ami gets the entire amount of money. He literally set it up, the Budmans together set it up, so that if you subscribe through us, the entire subscription goes to Temple Beth Ami. So thank you very much for all of your support to the Budmans. Thank you. Where are you guys? You're still here, aren't you? Please? Yeah? I know you're here somewhere. Budmans? There they are. They're right there. So thank you. And thank you for keeping local media alive, most importantly. So thank you. So we're going to continue with the way we tell our story. And for another local commercial, we're going to come to the four children. And we have a tradition that we've had since 5 years now to turn to the Scott family way in the back there for the four children for this section. It's on page 58. If you turn ahead to page 58, to the time where we're going to be telling this story as the four children. Now, we just asked the question, Ma nishtana halayla hazeh, why is this night different? And it's always different. First of all, every Passover is going to be unique, because we'll never have this group together. We'll never have this same amazing assortment of people. We'll never be together again. So that's something that we recognize is a miracle. And for all these different places we've come from, we're here tonight. Now, that being said, very seriously, tonight is also a Passover, as it was last year, where it's not normal, because we literally have an unknown amount of our brothers and sisters in Israel who are being held hostage right now in Gaza. So they were taken from their homes 555 days ago. That's what that number on my shirt is, because for the last 440 days I've been wearing that number, label, to remind people that there are people that are not at home tonight, and so this night is not normal. It's not normal for, again, we don't know how many. Is it 20? Is it 25? We don't know. If it's one. And again, this war that's been going on for now way too long is something that is also not normal and cannot continue. So for the people who live in Israel, and again, for all of us who hopefully will have a chance, as we say at the end of this Seder, next year in Jerusalem, as my friend Reverend John shared us, we're going to go back. We're going back for sure in November with Joe Buchanan to sing and to give comfort to the people who are there, and God willing, to a war that will be over. But we're always going to have opportunities to bring that to life, to be in Israel. So we're going to go to the back right now to part of the family that actually is from Israel, in the Scott family. but we're going to go to the back. On page 58, we're going to do the 4 children. And traditionally, again, it's the 4 sons. And you all remember, if you've been here before, how this went down a couple years ago, where they only had 3 sons, and now they have 4 sons. And it's all because of this little part of the Seder. Well, I guess not. There's gestational issue that we had nothing to do with, really, I promise. But this huge table back here of a wonderful family. Where did Neil go? Is he in the kitchen?
He's with his 4th son.
All right. Well, wait, we need him. He's got to come back. Is he going to come back? Neil, bring in the guest of honor, because he was here last year. But we have the 4 sons, right? Guys. Skylar, Grayson. Riley's over there. We're going to bring Ash in too. Come on. Guys, come on over here. We have the 4 sons. Come on. And Skylar's having his bar mitzvah. Big weekend is up on him in 2 weeks from now. That happened. Oh my goodness. Let's get that man. Let's get your dad. All right, so who's going to be the parent? Well, one of them's gone. Now both of them are gone. So on page 58, we have this very, very special part of the Seder where we see the story being told from 4 different voices, from 4 different types of people, or maybe 4 different types of ourselves. Each one of us has these. The first, the Torah alludes, again, page 58, in various places to 4 types of children, one wise, one wicked, one simple, and one who does not know how to ask. What does the wise child say? I think we'll let the bar mitzvah boy be the wise child today. Skylar. Yeah, wise child. Yeah.
What are the testimonies, the statutes, and the laws which the Lord your God has commanded you?
Excellent. And you tell him some of the laws of Pesach from the Mishnah, from the rabbinical texts. And parent?
Where is it? Okay, I got it. We do not proceed to our. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. To any afikomen, to dessert or any dinner celebrations after eating the Pesach lamb.
He cooks a lot better than he reads. And what does the wicked child say? Who's going to be the wicked child today? Grace.
Whatever this service mean to you.
Yeah, to you. He says to you, right? The child emphasizes you, not himself. Since this child excludes himself from the community and rejects a major principle of our faith, you should set his teeth on edge and say to him,
It is because of this that the Lord did for me when I went free from Egypt.
fantastic. Now, let's get our 3rd child ready. What does the simple child ask?
What is this?
And you shall say to that child,
By a mighty hand the Lord brought us out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
excellent. And as for the child who does not know how to ask, where is that child? He's here. You should prompt him. As it is said, you shall teach your child on that day, saying, the 4th parent, back to you.
It is because of this that the Lord did it for me when I was free from Egypt.
And thank you, guys. And the point of this is to teach us that no matter what our kids can do, no matter where somebody is in understanding the story, we try to make it understandable to them. We try to find a way to help them enter into this text, into this very important part of our journey, which is the journey from slavery to freedom, from bondage to being free people. So I want you to think about something that you're in particularly thinking about right now that's keeping you from being the person that you'd like to be. Whether it's something in your life that you've been dealing with for a long time, or whether it's something that just happened in the last few months, or maybe in the last few days, but something that you know you can't take with you on your journey towards freedom. It's something that you have to leave behind in order to be free. So think about that tonight, and think about that throughout Passover. How we're going to make that journey, each one of us, each one of our individual journeys to freedom. So we're going to continue on telling the story. And if you join with us, we're going to move on to page 80, if you look right here. That we learn, page 80, is we're going to go through, 82 is where we're going to start. 82, which is the text from Deuteronomy, from Devarim, which we're now going to interpret. We're now going to go through telling our story of liberation through our ancestors. And you're going to read this for me. You're going to read it for all of us, actually, not just for the people at your table, but for everyone here. So we're going to start with, we're going to start on this table right here. I'm looking around this table. Who's ready to read? Todd, you ready to read? All right. We're going to let the great Todd Carb read for us. On page 82, Israel, Jacob, descended to Egypt, resided there in small numbers, and became there a nation great and powerful and numerous. What did that mean? What did it mean to go down?
Israel descended, compelled by the divine word, to fulfill the prophecy of God to Abraham, that your descendants will be strangers in a land not their own, where they will be enslaved and persecuted. Israel resided there temporarily. Jacob, our father, never intended to settle permanently in Egypt. Jacob's family made that clear from the onset. They said to the Pharaoh who resigned in the days of Joseph, "We have come merely to reside in this land, for there is no pasture for your servants' sheep. For the famine in the land of Canaan is very heavy. Therefore, please permit your servants to stay in the land of Goshen."
Excellent.
Continue. Mm-hmm. In small numbers, Jacob arrived in Egypt. Moshe reminds us that with only 70 persons, your ancestors descended to Egypt. Yet now the Lord, your God, has made you as... It's a bad copy. Yeah. As numerous as the stars of the sky. Mm-hmm. There, Egypt became a nation. Israel became a nation. Recognizable, distinctive, standing out from the others.
Thank you, Todd. Thanks very much. And again, one of the special things whenever we get to spend time with Todd is that, and Todd gets embarrassed when I tell this, but Todd was literally one of the first people on scene at North Valley Jewish Community Center 26 years ago this year in August. He was a hero for many years, but on that day in particular, being one of the first people to make sure that the people there could survive that attack at the North Valley Jewish Community Center, Todd was there. And again, reminding us that oppression and anti-Semitism existed in Egypt, and unfortunately, it exists sometimes in our own backyard. And we're going to turn to page 86 now, and I'm going to ask the wonderful Sandy Keaton to read for us at the top of page 86, those two paragraphs.
Ancient Egyptian oppression. They persecuted us. They put taskmasters over Israel to conscript their labor in order to persecute them with their burdens. They built for Pharaoh the garrison cities of Pithom and Ramesses. They imposed hard labor on us. The Egyptians worked the children of Israel harshly, degrading us with back-breaking and spirit-crushing labor.
So again, when the Egyptians were working us, it wasn't just to have us do work for them. It was to crush our spirits. It was to turn us into a slave mentality. And of course, that meant we also turned on each other when we were slaves. And that's one of the worst things that happens, is we watch people who have no freedom turn on each other. We're going to read now from the Haggadah. If you turn with us to page 92, we're going to come to this section right here, which is the redemption, the time that we actually were able to come out. And it's important to know that we had to do something first. We actually had to cry out. We actually had to do something in order for us to be free. And so I'm going to ask now, as we were ready to read from the plagues, but before we say the plagues, this section on page 92, I'm going to ask Robert Hochberg to read this section.
God took us out of Egypt with a strong hand and an outstretched arm, with awe, some power, signs, and wonders. God took us out, not by the hands of an angel, not by the hands of a seraph, not by the hands of a messenger, but the Holy One, blessed be he himself in his own glory. Just as it says, I will pass through the land of Egypt, and I will strike down every firstborn in Egypt, both human and beast. I will execute judgment on all the gods of Egypt. I am God. More? With a strong hand refers to an epidemic, animal disease, the fifth plague. The hand of the Lord will strike your livestock in the fields, the horses, the donkeys, the camels, the cattle, and the sheep with a very severe disease.
So, again, as we get to the plagues, and in a moment we're actually going to name them. We're going to go through and name them. I'm going to ask Robin Wrotslavsky to continue on page 94. 94.
What am I reading? Right here? Okay. Oh, I didn't realize you were standing right there. I can't turn my neck. Okay. With an outstretched arm refers to God's word as a metaphor for the plague of the firstborn, just as it does elsewhere. Excuse me. David woke up and saw the angel of the Lord standing between heaven and earth with a drawn sword in his hand, outstretched against Jerusalem. Do you want me to read that paragraph? Okay, sorry. I can read. With awesome power refers to the revelation of God's power to our very eyes. That is just what Moses tells Israel. Did a God ever before attempt to come and extract one nation for himself from the midst of another nation by prodigious acts, by signs and wonders, by war, by a strong hand, an outstretched arm, and awesome power, as the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your very eyes?
So, again, each one of these sections has been expounded on, has been, again, as the Midrash does, takes the words and then connects them to other parts of the Torah. And as we are going to come to the recitation of the 10 plagues, which you can see on page 98, the tradition we have is to take out a little of our cup of wine or grape juice, a symbol of joy. So make sure you have that second cup filled with, well, however much you're going to drink. You don't have to have it filled, but have it filled for a second cup, because we're going to take a little bit out of our cup. And again, why do we take a little bit out of the cup? Because this is a cup of joy. This is celebration. This is a cup of telling our story of freedom. But as we recall the plagues, we're reminded that we don't celebrate when our enemies, even when our enemies are dying and suffering. So think about that for a second. That's a very important Jewish value, that we don't celebrate when our enemies are suffering. And that's what we're going to enact right now by taking out a little bit of our cup. And that is definitely a lesson for today, folks. That is a lesson that, again, should keep us up at night thinking about literally right now, that we don't celebrate when people, even the people who are sworn to kill us, die. And that's what separates us. That's what makes the war that we're fighting right now different. That we're not celebrating. So on page 98, as we take out a little bit of our cup, as we say each plague, and again, as we recite these in Hebrew and in English, it takes us back to that moment that we became free, came about through the 10 plagues. And Pharaoh finally saying, you can go. Dam, Tzvardea, blood, frogs. Kinim, lice. Arov, wild beasts. Dever, cattle plague. Shechin, boils. Barad, hail. Arbeh, locust. Hoshech, darkness. Makat bechorot, the death of the firstborn. Now, if you'd look with us on page 99, we're going to do a song that was not written by Jewish people. It was actually written by African Americans who were slaves in this country. And it was a song that was inspired by our liberation, but it, of course, inspired people throughout the centuries, including slaves in this country. So, Let My People Go, you can find there at the top of the page, on page 99. Let my people go.
When we get to the part where it says, let my people go, you can yell, you can stomp your feet, you can pound the table as long as it doesn't spill the wine. When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand. Let my people go. Everybody together. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Thus saith the Lord, bold Moses said, let my people go. If not, I'll smite your firstborn dead. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. No more shall they in bondage
So when we think about celebrating tonight, we think about the ways that we have made it here. Some of us have had some pretty interesting journeys. Some of us have come through some difficult times even in this last year. And again, to my good friend John, I can tell you that we have been following the journey that he's been on, and that the people of Palisades and Altadena and Pasadena, and those people who have lost everything in a matter of moments at a level that we couldn't ever imagine. I went with him 2 days after, and we walked the site of the church, and it was still smoldering. And it's hard to find a sense of joy out of an experience like that, in the midst of that, and knowing that that's happened not just to you but to everyone around you. And how do you move on from that? How do you celebrate a holiday? How do you celebrate Passover or Easter this year? And so what John has taught me, and what a lot of people who've been through similar circumstances of losing everything, whether it's in business or whether it's in a tragedy or a fire, is that we find a miracle in that day that we're in right now, in that moment, and we figure out a way to hold on to that and to celebrate it. And on page 104, the song that we have here, Dayenu, reminds us that we have a lot of miracles in life, that a lot of things can get taken from us, but as long as we're living, as long as we're here, it's a miracle. And so this is a list, and we actually don't even do all the Dayenus. There's 15 of them. You know, you go through this whole list of Dayenus. We're going to do a couple. We're going to do Ilu Hotzianu Mimitzrayim, that God took us out of Egypt, and then we're going to say that, you know, that would have been enough. But then God gave us Shabbat. You know, gave us a day of rest, and God gave us the Torah. Those are a couple of things that we can thank God for, and we could say Dayenu. But again, this is kind of the message for people who've ever been in a 12-step support group and any type of group where, again, we think about taking one day at a time and building a life out of that. That's what Dayenu means. Today would be enough. So we're going to sing this song, Dayenu, and think about each one of us, all the things that we have that we could say Dayenu for. Going back to the Torah, going back to the Exodus. So Ilu Hotzianu Mimitzrayim is the first one we're going to do.
We're going to start with the chorus to get everybody warmed up. And you get to sing your hearts out. The louder you sing, the more food you get to eat later.
Hotzianu
So in a moment, we're going to clear our sinuses with the horseradish. But we explained the three things that were biblical foods that we were supposed to eat. We have other foods that we've been eating for a very long time, like eggs. That goes back to the rabbinic period, to 2,000 years ago. So maybe during the time when Jesus was celebrating the Passover, he might have had an egg because that was a Greco-Roman tradition. But we do know that haroset, that interesting mixture there that we have with nuts, and we have one without nuts, and apples and raisins and some other stuff in there. That symbolizes mortar. That's also a newer tradition, but goes back like 1,700 years ago. And so some of these traditions were added, but the three that are mentioned in the Torah are the Pesach, Matzah, and Maror. And so we have to explain these three things because, again, this was what was on the original Seder plate, or the original table, if you will, in Egypt. That's where the first Passover took place, not in the land of Israel, but in the diaspora, outside of Israel, in the land of Egypt. And the first was Pesach. There's one with nuts, and there's one without nuts. If you want a nut-free haroset, raise your hand, because we're going to give it to you. So if you want no nuts in your haroset, not only do we have no nut haroset, but we have gluten-free matzah. Sharon, raise your hand. If you want gluten-free matzah, go see Sharon. This is truly a California Seder because there's a vegetarian, gluten-free, nut-free option on your plate right now. Or it could be. Welcome to California. We're hardly nut-free. Anyways, we're going to, in addition to doing the Pesach, which we don't do anymore. We don't have a Passover offering because we don't have a temple, we don't have sacrifices, and we don't have a Passover lamb anymore. But we did for a very long time. Now we move to the matzah, which we do have. And we're going to eat that in a second. Don't eat it yet, but your matzah is very important for this holiday because it's called Hag HaMatzot, the holiday of matzah. And then the last thing is the maror, the bitter herb, which reminds us of the bitterness of slavery. And we're supposed to eat this because the Torah tells us to eat it. It actually commands us to eat maror, to remember the bitterness of slavery. In a moment, we're going to eat these things. But please turn with me to page 114 for the critical line in the whole Haggadah. This is what we're supposed to teach our children. This is what we're supposed to teach ourselves. Bechol dor vador, chayav adam lirot et atzmo ke'ilu hu yatsa mimitzrayim. In each and every generation, each one of us has to feel like we left Egypt ourselves. So tonight, picture yourself leaving Egypt. Not just Charlton Heston of blessed memory, not just Val Kilmer in a cartoon version of blessed memory as Moses, not Ben Kingsley, who's still with us, who was also Moses, not Burt Lancaster of blessed memory, who was also Moses. Think about all those people that were Moses. None of them were Jewish, but it's okay because you don't have to be Jewish to try to envision leaving Egypt right now, because if it wasn't for this Exodus, none of us would be here. None of us would be here. So, Bechol Dor Vador, in every generation, we think about that. And we're going to, Wendy, before we eat, we're going to say, B'tzeit Yisrael, Psalm 114. Make sure you have a little wine because we're going to drink our second cup. After telling the story, we're going to drink our second cup. But first, B'tzeit Yisrael, Psalm 114, which you can find on page 120, page 120. B'tzeit Yisrael, when we left Egypt, the mountains danced, the sea fled.
B'tzeit Yisrael, Mitzrayim, Eid Yaakov, Me'am Loez. B'tzeit Yisrael,
And turn with us to page 122 as we raise our second cup, the cup of redemption, as we thank God for this holiday, the season of redemption, to be able to be together, to have matzah, to celebrate as our ancestors did, the celebration of freedom, of asking questions, of being together. But again, most importantly, to be redeemed, to be free people. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. And we say the Kiddush for the second time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagov.
Amen.
L'chaim. And if you join with us on page 124, we're going to wash our hands now because we're going to eat matzah, whether you like it or not. And I definitely don't like it, but I'm going to eat it anyways because it's a commandment. I told people this many times. This is my least favorite food of the year. This is my keto week. Keto week! All right. So, we're going to wash our hands. Actually, I'm going to ask Reverend Andy. He's going to wash his hands on behalf of everybody. But you should wash your hands occasionally. I mean, there's hand sanitizer in the back if you want. But there's also a restroom that if you want to, you can wash your hands. But this is a special washing because we're about to do the blessing over the matzah. Now, we have two blessings actually. And we're going to add a third blessing to this too, because some of you have not had matzah yet. Well, I don't know. You could have had it yesterday for the first night. But some of you have not. You've been holding off to have your matzah tonight. So again, the blessing for washing our hands. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, al netilat yadayim. And on the bottom of 124, the blessing over Hamotzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. And the blessing for eating matzah, fulfilling a biblical commandment, a commandment from the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat matzah. For eating matzah. So everybody, break off a little piece and have some matzah. Oh my gosh. So delicious. It's like cardboard without the flavor. Oh man. But you know what's so good about eating matzah? Is it's going to be followed up now by maror, by bitter herb. And so, oh my goodness. On page 126, we're going to have a little maror. You have bitter herb on your plate, on your table. You have bitter herb that's been already ground up, and then you have like bitter herb that's a piece of root of the horseradish. I like this better than the matzah. Anyways, make sure you have a little bit of bitter herb. However you're going to have it. However you're going to enjoy it. And we're fulfilling a mitzvah again, a biblical commandment by eating maror. The Torah tells us to have maror at this time of year. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat maror. Wow. All right. Now, in a moment, we are going to be enjoying the food tonight. And again, we're very grateful to be able to be together. Hopefully you'll meet some people tonight that have not been at your Seder table before. Probably a lot of you have someone who's new on your table. So please enjoy the company and also, again, the ability to be together for Passover, and to be part of a community. That's such a wonderful community, again, represented by two really, really special parts of this community over the years at VUMC, and also a part of a wonderful country, which again, for all the challenges, for all the problems we have, we live in an amazing country, and it's something that we really do have to think about tonight too. To be grateful for our journey here as Jews and people who live in America today. So, we're going to go out and eat, but before we do, we want to say Shehachianu. We want to thank God for preserving us in life, for enabling us to reach this moment together. Again, from all the backgrounds, from all the different places we've come here tonight. And for that miracle, and for so many other miracles that we oftentimes forget about, we're going to say Shehachianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimonu v'higianu hazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimonu v'higianu hazman hazeh. Big amen.
Now, I want to tell everybody, a couple weeks ago, we had a really special evening together where we had wine. We didn't have much, well, we had food. We did have food, but not the kind of food that you have tonight. We had wine and cheese, and it was good, and some hors d'oeuvres. But I want to thank the Kivniks for putting that beautiful wine event together. We're going to do it again next year, right, guys? Alan? It's being demanded. But I want to tell people that tonight you have the commemorative glasses. If you do not get a commemorative glass, these beautiful Temple Beth, you could actually drink the next 2 cups of wine out of this cup. But you have to make a minimum donation of $36. And you get a set of 4. Set of 4. 4, that's right. 4 glasses. And you get to go home with them tonight. You could have 4 glasses in this glass for $36 donation. Yeah, we had these left. These are beautiful glasses. We had them ordered so that you could have this tonight. So this is, double high donation. You get to have this tonight. You can either take one of the envelopes up there or do it online. We trust you. Well, I don't trust you, but Tracy trusts you. No, I trust you. So we're going to also, Tracy gave me the directions for how we're going to eat right now. So listen up, because the soup is in the back, and the food is on both sides. Now, go to the side that's closer to you, because the food is the same on both sides. Unless you want vegetarian food. And if you want vegetarian food, there's something wrong with you. But I too have that something wrong with me, so I can say that. I can say that as a vegetarian. The vegetarian food will be ready behind the camera by that door there is the vegetarian door. So on both sides is the stuff for people that partake of meat. The soup is vegetarian, by the way, yes. The soup is for both vegetarians and non-vegetarians. Yes, so the soup is matzo ball soup, and it's in the back. So you can get that. Everyone can get the soup. And please, again, on both sides, enjoy food. So you can go up on your own. You don't have to push anyone over. There'll be enough food for everybody. But enjoy. B'tei avon. Enjoy. Bon appetit.
Okay, while everybody is making their way, for those of you that are still sitting at your seats, we're going to do song number 2 from the song sheet. Cleaning and cooking and so many dishes, out with the hametz, no pasta, no knishes, fish that's gefilte, horseradish that stings. These are a few of our Passover things. Matzah and karpis and chopped up haroset, Kiddush and Yiddish neurosis, Tata who kvetch and an uncle who sings. These are a Thank you very much. And another hit parade. If you're still sitting down and want to sing with me on song number 4 on the song sheet. Just a tad of haroset helps the bitter herbs go down. The bitter herbs go down. Bitter herbs go down. Just a tad of haroset helps the bitter herbs go down in the most disguising way. Oh, back in Egypt long ago, the Jews were slaves under Pharaoh. They sweat and toiled and labored through the day. So when they gather sticks at night, we do what we think is right. Or we choose to fear what they went through. Just a tad of haroset helps the bitter herbs go down. The bitter herbs go down. Bitter herbs go down. Just a tad of haroset helps the bitter herbs go down in the most disguising way. So after years of slavery, they saw no chance of being free. Their suffering was the only life they knew. But baby Moses grew up tall, and he said he'd save them all. He did, and yet we swear we won't forget that a tad of haroset helps the bitter herbs go down. The bitter herbs go down. Bitter herbs go down. Just a tad of haroset helps the bitter herbs go down in the most disguising way. While the moror is being passed, we all refill our water glass, preparing for the taste that turns us red. Oy vey! Although the moror seems full of minuses, it sure does clean our sinuses. But what to do? It's hard to be a Jew. Just a tad of haroset helps the bitter herbs go down. The bitter herbs go down. Bitter herbs go down. Just a tad of haroset helps the bitter herbs go down in the most disguising way.
Folks, if you want any more chicken or brisket, it's on the other side, the left side. Nothing on the right side, but on the other side, the left side, there is chicken and brisket left. Chicken and brisket on the left side. All right, kids, if you are done eating, kids, you can look for the afikomen. It is hidden in this room. So do not go out of this room. It is in this room, the afikomen. Oh, no. Grace found it. It took him like 2 seconds to find it. You found it so quick. All right. right, Grayson. So you get to choose a gift. You get to choose your gift first. What is it going to be? Here, do you want that Slivovitz bottle? Go back and tell your dad that's what you want. Okay, here. Give it to him. Here. Look, Dad, look what I won. All right, you guys can get something too. You can get a gift as well because you looked and you searched. So you can have a present too. You're welcome. Yes. You're welcome. Did you wash your hands today? When? Like 3 hours ago? 4 hours ago? Okay. Okay. All right, everyone. Eliana is going around to give everyone a piece of the afikomen. Because you all get to have a piece of afikomen, which is just like regular matzah, except in a bag. It's been in a special bag. Yeah, the the desserts are coming out right now. And we're also going to give everybody a little bit of Slivovitz if they want. All right. Dina and Jack, you're in charge of the Slivovitz. One tray. All right. So if you would like to try a little Slivovitz tonight with us, just raise your hand as Jack and Dina come around to pass out some Slivovitz. One sec, Jack. I need one more. There we go. Thank you. So raise your hand if you would like to. Don't drink it yet. We're going to do a toast together. Thank you, Eliana. Thank you, Eliana, for passing out the afikomen, everybody. No. No. You do it because it's a good deed. It's a mitzvah. All right, everybody. So just raise your hand if you wanted to try the slivovitz as it's coming around. All right. We still have some slivovitz left. Don't drink it yet. No, we're not going to go so long. You took I don't want to. Okay, fine. All right, everybody. We have a special afikomen song. Hopefully you had a little afikomen. And we have a special afikomen song. Which song is it, Wendy, on the song sheet? What?
Song number 5 on your song sheet. Some of you may have heard this before. This is one of my favorite Passover parodies. And this is an audience participation. Everybody must sing the chorus of this song. Song sheet, song number 5. My dad at every Seder breaks a matzah piece in two and hides the afikomen half, a game for me and you. Find it, hold it ransom, for the Seder isn't through till the afikomen's gone. Here's your part to sing. Don't sit on the afikomen. Don't sit on the afikomen. Don't sit on the afikomen, or the meal will last all night. So just so you know, you cannot end a Seder without having the afikomen. Hence this song. One year daddy hid it neath a pillow on a chair, but just as I raced over, my Aunt Sophie sat down there. She threw herself upon it, awful crunching filled the air, and the crumbs flew all around. Everybody sing! Don't sit on the afikomen. Don't sit on the afikomen. Sit on the afikomen, or the meal will last all night. There were matzah crumbs all over. Oh, it was a messy sight. We swept up all the pieces, though it took us half the night. So if you want your Seder ending sooner than dawn's light. Don't sit on the afikomen. Don't sit on the afikomen. Don't sit on the afikomen. Don't sit on the afikomen, or the meal will last all night.
All right, there you go. So we have a few songs that we traditionally finish with that we need your participation in too. So, in a moment, we're going to say the third cup blessing. So make sure you have that third cup with wine or grape juice filled, or at least with 2 ounces, so you can do the blessing. Because we're going to do a blessing right now. We call this the cup of thanks. Thank you. Gratitude.
Page 137.
No. There are tables that don't have wine now. So we have some more wine coming. Some tables need some more wine. All right. So if you have some grape juice or wine, we're going to do the Birkat Hamazon, the blessing after meals right now, which you can find on page 133, as we're going to invite everyone to bench and to say the blessings. Havarai nevarech.
Yehi Shem Adonai mevarach me'ata ve'ado.
Yehi Shem Adonai mevarach me'ata ve'ad olam. Bereshut Chavarai nevarech Eloheinu shelchanu mishelo.
Baruch Eloheinu shelchanu mishelo.
Baruch Eloheinu shelchanu mishelo uvtuvo hayinu. Page 133. Baruch hu Baruch Shemo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hazan et haolam kulo betuva bechesed uvrachamim.
Rachamim.
Hu noten lechem lechol basar ki leolam chasdo.
Ki leolam chasdo.
Uvtuvo hagadol. Tamid lo chasar lanu ve'al yasar lanu. Mazon leolam va'ed bavur shemo hagadol. Kuzanu farnes lahakol. Umetiv lahakol. Umechin mazon lechol briotav asher bara. Baruch atah Adonai Hazan et hakol. If you look on page 134, we want to thank God for the land and for the food that we enjoy. Page 134. Kakatu ve'achata ve'savata uverachta ed Adonai Elohecha al haaretz hatova asher natan lach. Baruch atah Adonai al haaretz ve'al hamazon. So for our land and for our food. And on page 137, at the top, we also have a blessing for Yerushalayim, for Jerusalem. Let it be rebuilt as a city of peace for everybody. Sorry, it's on page 130. It skips in some of the Haggadot. It's on page 135, I think, actually. This is the blessing for Jerusalem. Uvene Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh b'meira v'yahameinu, Baruch atah Adonai, v'honeh v'rachamav, Yerushalayim. Amen. And now if you look at the last page of the Birkat HaMazon on 137, some of the Haggadot might be missing this couple of pages, but it ends right here on page 137. Nar hayiti gam zakanti velo ra'iti tzadik nezov vezaro mevakesh lachem vezaro mevakesh lachem Adonai oz le'amo yiten Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. And as we raise our third cup on page 137, the third cup, the cup of thanks for our meal, we're going to say the blessing for the third time.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim, everyone. Now, where is our special glass for Eliyahu? Our Elijah's cup. Now, you ready? Get one of the Temple of Afternoon glasses. If you turn with us to page 140 right now. The tradition we have of pouring a glass for Elijah. And again, hoping that this will be the year that Elijah comes to us and brings us into the time of peace, to the Messianic age. And so as we welcome in Elijah and the tradition we have of opening the door, I'm going to ask Chris or Mark if you could open up the door for Elijah. Is it kind of open already? I can't really tell. Oh yeah, it's open from that side. There we go. So let's all rise and face the door to welcome in Elijah, to welcome in a time of peace, a time of understanding. And what are we doing this year, this Passover, to make that happen? Well, I think we're doing a lot of it right now, again, as we're doing it with some very special people in a very special place, and with some great friends. It makes it a lot easier to get through the tough times when you have friends like we have here. And so this is what we envision for the whole world, this kind of fellowship, this kind of love. And so let's welcome Elijah and hope that this love spreads around the world. Eliyahu Hanavi, we welcome Elijah the prophet.
Eliyahu Hanavi, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Giladi, Miriam Hanebiyah, Oz Vazim Rabbi Hada, Miriam Tikodetanu, Lehagli Yizradolam, Miriam Tikodetanu, Letakenetaholam, Bimera Ve'amenu, Yahvo Eleinu, Imashi Eliyahu, Eliyahu Navi, Eliyahu Atishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Giladi.
Thank you, everybody. And again, we also poured the cup for Miriam, the prophet, too. And again, we have a cup of water for Miriam, who brought us water in the wilderness, made sure wherever she was that there'd be water. And that was life. Now, we're going to have a fourth cup. Make sure now you have your fourth cup ready to go. And I know the third and the fourth cup, they come pretty close right after each other. But this is the fourth cup for the Hallel, for the songs of praise, and the way that we finish. So this is really the exit cup, the cup for the road, so to speak. But that's why if you want to pour grape juice for this last cup, if you're the driver, please do that. And on page 147, the Hallel, the songs of Hallel, the songs that we sing at Passover, include Psalm 136, which is the refrain, Ki le'olam chazdo. And we say this in English and in Hebrew. Ki le'olam chazdo means God's goodness is forever. God's love, chesed, goes on forever and ever. So if you read with us on page 147, it's Psalm 136. Give thanks to the Lord, for God is good, for God's kindness is forever. Ki le'olam chazdo. God struck Egypt's firstborn, Ki le'olam chazdo, and brought Israel out of their midst, Ki le'olam chazdo, with a strong hand and an outstretched arm, Ki le'olam chazdo. God split the sea of reeds, Ki le'olam chazdo, and made Israel pass through it, Ki le'olam chazdo. God hurled Pharaoh and his army into the sea of reeds, Ki le'olam chazdo, and God led his people through the wilderness, Ki le'olam chazdo. God took note of us in our degradation, Ki le'olam chazdo, and rescued us from our enemies, Ki le'olam chazdo. God provides food for all living things, Ki le'olam chazdo, for God's kindness is forever, Ki le'olam chazdo. And as we have our fourth cup, and again this cup, which is a symbol of the end of the Seder, make sure you have a couple of ounces. Here, give me a little. I need a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Oh, that's good. All right. So as we raise our fourth cup, on page 149, you can find the blessing for the fourth cup.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
And we have a special blessing. Blessed are you, Lord our God, for the vine and for the fruit, for the beautiful and spacious land you gave. Have mercy on us and bring us to eat its fruits. Grant us happiness at this feast of Matzot. Blessed are you, Lord, for the land and for the fruit of the vine. Baruch atah Adonai al haaretz ve'al pri hagafen. So again, enjoy that fruit of the vine. Have your cup. Enjoy your cup, your fourth cup. And some of you have a mini cup right now, which is our mini cup. I'm going to ask our reverend friends who have given us dispensation tonight to drink this mini cup, which is this cup of slivovitz. Wait, we're going to say a l'chaim. There's no blessing on this because we've already drunk our minimum requisite 4 cups. But this is this mini cup, which doesn't have the fruit of the vine. It has the fruit of a plum brandy. So we're going to have this little slivovitz here. Hey, Neil. Do you have your slivovitz? All right. Thank you, Neil. And to Neely Skillet, thank you, guys. Andy, I know you like Neely Skillet, right? Big fan of Neely Skillet. L'chaim. Thank you, everyone. L'chaim. Oh. Did anyone not get one? If you did not get one, we have 6 more up here. and they've been poured, so I have to drink them. What?
You have thanked me many times, but this lady right here, honestly, without Tracy this evening, none of these tables, none of these chairs, and the many, many volunteers that have helped out, we truly, truly want to thank Tracy for all the hard work, being here from like 1 o'clock on. We all get the praise, but honestly, the hard work came from the rabbi's wife right here. And honestly, everybody should stand up and give her a round of applause right now. Please. Please. Thank you, Tracy, for all the hard work and everything you did to do this, please.
Thank you. Absolutely. And she cooks like that every night at our house for over 100 people. So tonight, as we go into the rest of this period, on page 150, tonight is a special night, the second night. If you're not here for the second night, you don't get to do this, which is the counting of the Omer, these days between today and Shavuot, our next harvest festival. And so tonight is the first night of the Omer, the first day. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, al sfirat ha'omer, hayom yom echad le'omer. Today is the first day of Omer starting tonight, and for the next 7 weeks, we use this time to prepare ourselves for Shavuot, for receiving the Torah, which we celebrate every year at Shavuot. And this year we're doing a very special Shavuot together with Temple Ahavat Shalom in Northridge and Temple Judea in Encino. We're going to be holding it together in Northridge, which is kind of like halfway between us and Temple Judea. But 3 synagogues together to come together for Shavuot. So that's coming up in June 1st. So that'll be here before you know it. And we're going to sing a couple final songs. Wendy, which song are we going to sing first? Adi or Who? Of course I do. It's on page 154. We're going to do a couple verses of Adi or Who, which is, you can see, from the 15th century. This goes back 700 years. And it's an alphabetic song. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, etc. So this is Adi or Who. We're going to do this. We're going to do a couple verses of Adi or Who. It's only 700 years old, so it's a relatively new song for Passover. Ready? Ready? Here we go.
This song has a lot of repeated sections. So after you hear it the first or second time, I expect everybody to sing really loud. Adirhu, Adirhu, Yivne Beto Bekoro, Bimhera, Bimhera, Yamenu Bekoro, El Bene, El Bene, Bene Beto Bekoro, Ahunhu, Gadonhu, Dagonhu, Yivne Beto Bekoro, Bimhera, Bimhera, Yamenu Bekoro, El Bene, Bene Beto Bekoro, Adurhu, Matikhu, Zakaihu, Yivne Beto Bekoro. Here you go. Bimhera, Bimhera, Yamenu Bekoro, El Bene, Bene Beto Bekoro.
Rachum, who? Rachum. Last verse.
The last verse.
Rachum hu, Shaddai hu, Takif hu,
Yivne Beto Bekoro, Bimhera, Bimhera, Biyamenu Bekoro, El Bene, Bene Beto Bekoro.
Now Now, traditionally, we do two final songs. One of them right there is Echad Mi Yodea. You can see Who Knows One, which is a trivia song where we ask, who knows one? One is, Dina, what is one? That's right. I taught you well. She learned that. One God. And then there's two tablets, and then there's three fathers and four mothers, etc., as we go through. So we're going to do a little bit of this, and then we're going to do the end of it and count back from 13. This is a tough one, ready? But you can do it with us. Echad Mi Yodea. Who knows one? Echad Mi Yodea. Echad Ani Yodea. Echad Eloheinu, 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 Sheba Shamayim Uvaretz, Shnayim Yodea, Shnayim Ani Yodea, Shnei Luchot Abrit, Echad Eloheinu, 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 Sheba Shamayim Uvaretz, Shlosha Mi Yodea, Shlosha Ani Yodea, Shlosha Avot Shnei Luchot Abrit Echad Eloheinu 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 Sheba Shamayim Uvaretz. Now you know, we turn to page 159 right now, and I'm going to count backwards from 13. And the tradition is to try to do this in one breath. And it's very, very hard to do. It's almost impossible unless you've had some slivovitz. And if you have some slivovitz, then you can do it. It somehow lubricates the mind. I don't know how it works, but it works. You have to have 13 of them, though. So, we're going to count backwards from 13. 13 attributes of God, the 12 tribes. It's actually hard to do if you haven't done all 13. But we're going to do this for the sake of not having you stay until 12 o'clock. We're going to do them right now on page 159. We're counting backwards from 13. Here we go. Shlosha asar mi yodea, Shlosha asar ani yodea, Shlosha asar mi daya shiva shiva. I got to do it again. Sorry. I got to start again. Sorry. Shlosha asar mi Shosha asar mi yodea, Shosha asar ani yodea, Shosha asar midaya, Shneim asar shiftaya, Chad asar chochaya, Asara dibraya, Tishayir cheleda, Shmona yemei milash, Shiva yemei shabta, Shisha shidrei mishnah, Chamisha chumsei Torah, Arba imaot, Shosha avot, Shnei luchot abrit, Echad Eloheinu, 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 Sheba shamayim, Uvaretz. What do you think, Dina? All right. Okay. She said I did okay. A B+. I think that's fair. All right. Now there's the last song. And now we need everybody's participation for the last song, because you know what that is. That's Chad Gadya, the goat. Now this song, we're going to sing this in English, but the refrain, Chad Gadya, is Aramaic. So all of you are going to practice your Aramaic right now. Chad Gadya. One goat that my father bought for 2 zuzim.
Cha-ching!
Now people ask me all the time, how much is 2 zuzim worth today? What's the exchange rate? And is there a tariff on a goat? The answer is, it's worth about $5, which, by the way, in some countries you can buy a goat for $5, really. Not here, but in some countries you can get a goat, a healthy goat for $5. But you know what we do here. It's not really about the money. It's not about the animals. It's about you making the noises. So now we need you to make the sounds of the different animals and anthropomorphic deities and helpers. Yeah.
Every table is going to have to make the noise. Nobody is exempt from this.
By the way, one of my favorite versions of Chad Gadya, we posted it up on the TBA Facebook page. It's the Jack Black version of Chad Gadya. And it's hysterical. He does an amazing job. And we animated it about 5 years ago. We animated Jack Black's Chad Gadya. So if you love Jack Black and you love Chad Gadya, you will love Jack Black's Chad Gadya. which he calls the ultimate heavy metal song, because there's the angel of death. But first, there's a goat, and then there's a cat. So who's the goat? Which table is going to be? We have enough tables for each table to be a sound of something. So that's how great we have today. So many people here today. Except that table left. Where did that table go?
They missed
that
out.
whole table left. We kicked them out.
So the thing is, who's ever the goat, you gets to make the sound the most times.
All right, so we're going to start. Which table? Raise your hand, table, if you want to be the goat. This is a heavy burden to be the goat because you're in every verse. Which table would like to be the goat? All right.
The goat.
The Van Winkle Barton table shall be the goats.
What's your
The
sound?
greatest of all times. And they really are. You know that.
What are you going to make the sound of the goat? This is the rehearsal.
All right.
Okay.
Wait, I heard like 2 goats there. Come on, there's a whole table of goats. Come on, Van
There's
Winkle
9
Barton.
people. We need to hear like 9 goat sounds.
Lisa, you left your mom hanging with that. Come on. Sally, she's got to be a goat right now, okay? What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, let's hear the goat one more time. Table, let's go. Table 1. It's okay. You work on it. All right, the next table is the cat. Which table are the cat people? Oh, Bob and Andy, I saw your hands were up
let's
real
hear
quick.
the cat.
That's the cat table. Table number whatever. What table is that? I can't see that.
I don't know.
Your table.
Let's hear the cat sound.
The Court Hochberg Himmlin table.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Then the dogs. The dog table. Oh, look at Randy. She was right up there. She wanted to be the dog. 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 All right, Randy, let's hear the dog table. Come on, Vern. Vern, give me a dog. All right, there we go. Then comes the stick table. All right, Sandy. Sandy was the first. The stick. All right, you're the stick table. Then the fire. Which the fire table? The fire. What table's on fire? Really? Oh my gosh. Okay, section. You're the fire table. All right.
Okay, what sound does the fire make? Can it go shh?
All right.
Crackle. Oh, yeah,
All right.
crackle, crackle. That's good.
So really loud, though. And then we have the water. Where's the water table? Water table. All right. Get it? Water table, right? All right. Robin and Mitchell. Mitchell, you ready to do the water? Mitchell, you ready for the water? Mitchell's the water boy over there.
What's the water
The
table
original
going to
water
sound
boy.
like?
All right. Next is the ox. The ox. I say yes. You don't want to be the ox, Neil? Your table does what? What? Yeah, you're the ox back there. The ox table back there. All right, let's hear the ox.
Okay.
Pretty good.
This
All
table,
right.
This table doesn't have anything yet.
All right. So they're
You're
the
holding out.
slaughterer, the shochet, the slaughterer. Is there the slaughter?
You want to be the slaughterer table?
Come on. Somebody's got to be the slaughterer. The slaughterer. Yeah.
slaughterer.
You got to make your noise. Come on, Robin. Talk amongst yourselves, Robin. Come on, figure it out. You're going to be the slaughterer. And then
Okay.
the angel of death.
do you
The
guys
angel of
have-
death.
Does this table have something yet? All right.
The pastor. All right, that's what Judith.
I don't think this table.
Okay,
do you
so
guys
there'll
have
be the
anything
angel.
yet?
The angel of death.
That's
oh my
these
gosh.
guys.
All right, angel of death.
What sound are you going to make?
All right, so the prevailing wisdom was that these 2 guys were going to be the voice of God today. So there you go. That's what was told. I was told. Who? No, they're the voice of God. John and Andy are the voice of God. You guys are going to have to come up with a voice of God. Tough. That's a tough thing to do. All right, so here we go. But everybody does the sound of the money, right? Which is cha-ching. Cha-ching. Ready?
Now, the thing is, everybody has to be paying attention, or we're going to be waiting for your sound and going. So you got to pay attention.
And I'm going to go really fast. Really fast. Eventually. Well, I'll start out slow for you people to get ready to get into it. Oh,
And
it's
everybody
nice
does the
fill some area.
cha-ching.
All right, ready? Cha-ching.
Hot God, yeah, hot God, yeah.
A goat, a kid.
My father bought for two zuzim.
Cha-ching.
Hot God, yeah, hot God, yeah.
Then came the cat that ate the goat.
My father bought for two zuzim.
Cha-ching.
Hot God, yeah, hot God, yeah.
Wait a second. No, not everybody said cha-ching. I know some of you are holding back on cha-ching. Show me the money. Show me the money. All right, there you go. That's the line. You got to do it. If you can't say it, you can't have it. All right. We're ready? Then came the dog that bit the cat, that ate the goat. My father bought for two zuzim. Cha-ching!
Hot God, yeah, hot God, yeah.
Then came the stick that bit the dog, that beat the dog, that bit the cat, that ate the goat.
My father bought for two zuzim.
Cha-ching!
Hot God, yeah, hot God, yeah.
Came the fire that burned the stick, that beat the dog, that bit the cat, that ate the goat.
My father bought for two zuzim.
Cha-ching!
Hot God, yeah, hot God, yeah.
Then came the water. Nice.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, they were really into that. They were totally.
It's a flood.
I'm soaked. They quenched the fire. That burned the stick. That beat the dog. That bit the cat. That ate the goat.
My father bought for two zuzim.
Cha-ching!
Hot God, yeah, hot God, yeah.
Then came the ox. That is mad cow disease right there. That drank the water. That quenched the fire. That burned the stick. That beat the dog. That bit the cat. That ate the goat.
My father bought for two zuzim.
Cha-ching!
Hot God, yeah, hot God, yeah.
Man, I opened up my portfolio, my stock portfolio, and there was two zuzim left. That's it, man. Two zuzim. It's not funny. Anyways, then, did you just snort? Then came the slaughterer, the shochet. A lot of movement. I didn't hear any.
Die, die, die.
Who killed the ox? Who drank the water? That quenched the fire? That burned the stick? That beat the dog? That bit the cat? That ate the goat?
My
father bought for two zuzim. Cha-ching!
Hot God, yeah, hot God, yeah.
Then came the angel of death. Who smote the slaughterer?
Die, die, die. Anu.
Wendy has some aggression that she's trying to release tonight. Jesus. Who killed the ox? Neil, you were not ready there. Who drank the water? Who quenched the fire? That burned the stick? That beat the dog? That bit the cat? That ate the goat? My father bought for two zuzim. Cha-ching!
Hot God, yeah, hot God, yeah.
All right, this is the last one, everybody. This is it. You better give it all right now. Here we go. from the Godhead itself, from the two holy pastors, United Methodist Church. Then came the Holy One.
Shalom!
Who annihilated the angel of death. Yeah, you died. Who slaughtered the slaughter? Who killed the slaughter? Who killed the ox? Ox!
Ox.
Ox! Who drank the water? That quenched the fire? That burned the stick? That beat the dog? That bit the cat? That ate the goat?
My father bought for two Susan.
Cha-ching!
Hot God, yeah. Hot God, yeah.
All right. Woo. Fantastic. And you know what we finish with every year at Passover? We say one more thing. Leshana haba beYerushalayim. Next year in Jerusalem, for thousands of years, our people have prayed that sometime in their lives they'd be able to go to Jerusalem. And we want to make that happen for everybody. Whether you go this year with us or next year, whenever you go, we want you to go sometime soon, especially now to help comfort our brothers and sisters in the land of Israel who've had a devastating couple of years. And again, for that whole region, we pray for peace. And we say next year in Jerusalem, in a land that's free and that's safe for everybody, people of all backgrounds. Leshana haba beYerushalayim. Next year in Jerusalem.
Lishana haba, lishana haba, lishana haba beYerushalayim. Lishana haba, lishana haba, lishana haba beYerushalayim. Lishana haba, lishana haba beYerushalayim. Lishana haba, lishana haba beYerushalayim. Lishana haba, lishana haba, lishana haba beYerushalayim. Lishana haba, lishana haba, lishana haba beYerushalayim. Happy Pesach!
Chag Sameach, everyone. Chag Sameach. Thank you, Wendy, for leading us through Seder. Yay, Wendy. All right, and again, very, very thankful to Reverend Andy and all the people at Valencia United Methodist Church who made this happen. And please, if you can, stay with us for a few minutes as we're going to clean up. We're going to make sure everything is cleaned up and ready to go so that they can come in for a very important Holy Week. And we wish them a blessed Holy Week as they celebrate and as, again, they pray for peace and do all the wonderful things that they're doing in the world. So we thank them, and we are praying for Reverend John and for the people in Palisades to rebuild and to be in a rebuilt community next year, or if not next year, very soon, that they're going to be in their home back in the Palisades. So thank you, everybody, for being here. And we have extra food. There is food that is in containers back there. If you want to take home, you have a little bit of, I guess, doggy bags, which is a Jewish tradition too. Oh, there you go. So enjoy. And again, Chag Sameach, everybody. Have fun and spend a few minutes helping us clean up. Thank you very much. And Chag Sameach, everyone.
Chag Sameach.